Commission meeting Thursday, March 21st. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And before we call the roll, I'd like to introduce the newest member, Sean
Wojcicki.
Wojcicki. And just tell us why you wanted to be on the parks, why you applied, just a little bit about your background related to parks.
Whoa, you didn't know you were going to do that, did you?
I told him 2 seconds ago.
My name is Sean Wojcicki. I was born on a landfill, and I know a lot about landscaping and how to do things, especially with heavy equipment. And I love to be outdoors. I live over in the over on Simmons Street, over there by Morton Park, by Morton Park and the salt plant. I perform home inspections for a living, so I'm constantly looking at drainage and fields and buildings and structures, and that's really my passion. And when Jermaine asked me to join this group, I couldn't resist. So I'm hoping that I can help out and do everything that I can. So it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Sean. Katie, would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Liz Lasky,
Present.
John Veach,
Excused.
Karen Mao. Here. Karen Peltola,
Excused.
Lainey Razga.
Here.
Tim O'Connor,
Here.
and Sean Wojcicki.
Oh,
Here.
The agenda was sent out. Is there a motion to approve it?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second that.
Agenda approved. Everybody in favor?
aye.
Did everybody read the minutes? Katie has sent them out.
Yes.
Thank you. Any changes or corrections? A motion to approve them as written.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Minutes have been approved. Citizen public comment. I think the first one we have is Blake Wandrick, and he's provided a drawing of his Eagle Scout project, and we'd like to hear more about it. Come on up, Blake. Thank you for coming. Hello.
I have a, I don't know what to say, but for my Eagle project, I had to choose something. I was looking at all the take a book, leave a book things that are all around, and I noticed there wasn't one at Morton Salt, at the Morton Salt Park, and I live over in that area. I live by the parking lot next to Painted Lady on 7th Street, and I was thinking of building a bigger take a book, leave a book over at the Morton Salt playground for anybody to take books or add books to it as they please, because when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of books.
Perfect. I think it's a great addition, and you have a drawing here. So you will do the whole project, and do you have funding for the project or money, or how does that work?
I have a lot of wood at my
Okay.
grandparents', and after this, if it gets approved by you guys, I'm going to go ask I have family members who plan on giving books too, but I'm going to ask the library if they would like to donate, or if I could get some books, purchase them from them. And then once I have the books, I have to start over, because first, if it gets approved from you guys, I have to do a council meeting with the Eagle Board of Review to get it approved by them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a possibility that it doesn't, but being that if I get it approved by you guys, I wouldn't feel right to not do it, so I would still build it even if I don't get it approved by the Eagle Council, because I think one needs to be there, in my opinion.
So is this really going to be a little free library?
Yes.
So then when you talk to the library, they'll make sure it gets registered and stuff, so people can check online and know where it is.
All right.
And I have books.
I think just from this group, you'd probably have enough. And I think later in the evening, we have another idea going with Morton's, but I think people will keep an eye on it. So after you go off to school or whatever, we can continue.
What age
Keeping
group are you looking for books for? Is it just geared toward children being in a park, or is it
Any.
anybody?
I planned on building it big enough to where there's enough room for any age.
And then what would be your timetable on this? If you get the approval from us and then the,
I have to get it done before next year, so sometime this year. I have to do a meeting with the Eagle Council before I can just get a exact date, but it will hopefully be this year.
Will he need to take this before city council as well? Okay.
No, I think it's a cool project.
too.
I would support it. These are scattered across the county, and I know that there are 2 currently in the parks.
one at Reed's?
There's one at Reed's. Okay, so I wasn't aware of that. There's one at Duffy, and then there's one on River Street at the city marina.
And they're utilized, that city
Yeah.
marina. It's always being replenished, so. The sooner, and, you know, it's of course better in the summer, there's gonna be more people at Morton, so the sooner you did it, probably the better too, but, any discussion?
I just have one question, Blake. How deep are you going to bury the posts? They're going to be like, it's going to be treated lumber, I suppose, right? How deep do you plan on burying the posts so that they're going to be nice and stable for a good long time? Had you thought about that?
I have, but I believe I forgot to write that down, but I remember talking about it with my grandpa. It was 4 feet in the ground.
Perfect. You know what you're doing.
Okay, and then maybe the location, we might have a little, you know,
I was looking around there. I was like what I haven't figured is if it's going to be it'll probably be just outside the fence or right inside the fence by one of the walkway things, entrance.
I think inside the fence,
Inside the fence?
don't you?
I was going to say outside the fence, close to where we put the bike rack.
Yeah.
Want it outside?
I think they usually are.
Yeah.
Okay,
It'd be more visible.
For walk by.
okay. Yeah,
So probably the bike rack would be a better spot to.
okay. Any questions or discussion?
I think it's a great
When,
idea.
when you're ready to lay it out, we'd be happy to work with you and we can just meet you there, put a stake down, spray paint the location, but we'll work with you on that.
When I do get the exact dates, how do I let you guys know?
Let me see if I have a business card.
Well, thank you for doing the presentation and for doing this and for working towards an Eagle Scout. That's a great honor to be one, so. And they have made a difference in the park. Linda's grandson, we've got some good projects done by Eagle Scouts, so thank you. Do we have to make a motion to approve this? We probably should.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blake.
Anybody else any other citizen comment? No. Nothing? Okay. Fine. Let's see, correspondence. In fact, I think it was Sarah had mentioned, she sent me something that's saying you wanted a senior softball, I don't have the email pulled up right now, a senior softball celebrity event, kind of. She just, but I didn't. Sarah from the foundation had mentioned it, but then I didn't hear anything else, so I wasn't sure about that. So, do you want to say anything, or? Please. Just so we can hear, kind of, so, and it's.
I'm Ed Jones. I'm one of the managers on the senior softball team, as well as Dan Gilligan. By the way, I just wanted to say Dan Gilligan and Brian Dunlop are both doctors that play on our team, and they both have donated an AES for the city. So I thought that's pretty cool.
Yes.
He'll talk more about that later, but I just wanted to give him some accolades. And we're meeting with the fire chief tomorrow to kind of figure out the nuts and bolts
The
about that.
logistics, yeah.
Anyway, senior softball. Yeah, we we would like to honor the first responders or have an opportunity for them to be able to be seen in the public as other than just, the normal first responder stuff that they do. So we were wondering if we could challenge or maybe just have a celebrity softball game, something that the community could come to, a nice sort of celebration. And also wanted to ask your ideas as far as it doesn't have to be just with the first responders, because a lot of times they're busy first responding, so they're not always as available as we'd like for them to be for fun things. And one suggestion, well, that might have been from Sarah, was also to maybe extend it to just the city, or maybe even another idea was to city business owners downtown. And my initial thought was it'd be probably cool to do it during the Forest Festival week, but then I haven't met with the Forest Festival people yet, and I don't know if you could provide me a contact person for that. I've spoken with the contact person in the past, but I don't remember who that is. But I know the Forest Festival already has a lot of things on their plate, and that might just be another thing that's just too much for them for that week. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out and get your ideas about it and your thoughts.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a long time coming, to be quite honest with you. They do that in a lot of communities, so it'd be fun to get city workers, fire department, police, city
employees, yeah.
City employees, oh yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to take on Jeff's team.
I will tell you, a couple years ago, Public Works challenged public safety to a similar type thing. It was not accepted.
Was not accepted?
That's a win.
I want you to know that we do have a defibrillator that's going to be on the field now. Some of the
Suggest
people
that.
have that available. Yes, ma'am.
Location, did you say what location you were planning that for? Was it First Street or Reeds or?
For the defibrillator or for the game? Probably First Street. I think Jeff's going to talk more about the wonderful things that will be done for that field. It's going to be
Yes.
like a nice centerpiece for the city now.
Yeah.
The
It'll look
parking's
really
pretty
nice.
limited down there during the 4th. That might be a consideration. That would be the only thing I'd say, that it's pretty congested now, and now this year, we just don't know how it's gonna be, the parking. And then the other one, we should work a bit with Eric Thummel and make sure they're not using, work with him. I'm sure he'd go along with this because it's a great idea, but make sure that the field isn't reserved for whatever, because sometimes they know the MRA does use it.
Is Eric on this committee?
No.
Okay.
The MRA doesn't use that one, but they are in contact with the adult softball group that does play there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're trying to get them to contribute to the field as well, too. So if you happen to see them, nudge them that way because they're elusive.
Okay.
But, okay, thank you very much.
Well, you have our support, so let us know and keep us involved.
Yeah, let's pick a date. I think most often with this kind of event, just pick a date, that get it on the calendar, and then we can start working on the teams and seeing what the participation level might be at. So I think it's there. I think it would be fun. I think it's a great idea. Just put it on the books, and then we'll just make it happen. So.
Yeah, we'll discuss, once you all identify a point of contact for your softball team, we'll discuss like rules we play by. We think maybe some softball rules, because we're a little softer. We don't use hot bats or hot balls or things like that.
Right.
So there's less of a chance of people getting hurt. And speaking of Eric, I need to talk with him, because I'm wondering whether the senior softball team somehow needs to fold into Manistee Recreation, because I know it's predominantly youth, but it is Manistee Recreation, and the softball team has provided recreation for seniors for 5, 6, 7 years.
They have been working to expand their programming to include a lot of adult activities in the recent years.
One of the gals from here who worked for Detroit City Park, who's absent tonight, brought in kickball for adults, and that really went over, and she worked closely with Eric on that.
Yeah, they played last year some.
Yes, and Karen, it was Karen's idea from here, so yes. He was very open to that, and it went over well.
Okay, I didn't know if he was on this committee, but I'll talk to Eric. I know
Okay,
Eric, so I'll
perfect.
just see if he'd like for us to fold into that a little bit. Just, that's another way to offer seniors Have you seen us play? We're pretty good. So don't get too cocky. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. What was that? Morton Park. We visited it, Karen and I did this week. and
Did all this work?
I did.
Karen did. Karen did all this work, so she's going to present. Karen's,
Yeah, and Jeff, I gave you these too, but it's basically, if you're standing at the bottom of the paper, this is the color arrangement of the stuff at Morton Park. And the black and white ones are things we need to choose colors for. So there's some colored pencils down there if you guys want to play around and color in what you think the other playground pieces should be. And if you want to see, Liz and I went out and we got swatches for you because you said you wanted paint colors, right? So
I just need the colors.
if you just, I wrote them down on that paper.
I see.
for you, But if you actually want to see what they are, I mean, there's 7 paint colors there. They're pretty well matched, so. I don't know what more you need beyond colors. Do
I
you
just,
need-
if we supply paint for your April 22nd event, then we just need to know what colors you want to paint the swing set, what colors you want to paint the slides and the 2 basketball
I
hoops.
did this,
Yep.
so.
We got it.
And I have an option, if anyone wants to see, a purple-green slide and a blue swing thing. But, I mean, whatever you guys want to do is great. The other question was, the basketball posts that are there, are they going to be repositioned when the new court goes in? Or are we getting extra for the new
No, we have
section?
brand new ones.
Yay.
So when the,
2 or 4? How
there's
many?
2.
Okay.
So when the second half of that court is poured, the new baskets will go on the north and south ends, and then we'll leave the existing ones as a shorter court.
Do you know what color the posts are of the new
Yeah, they're
basketball?
the exact same ones that we put in at First Street.
Are they gray?
They're silver gray,
Okay, so we want to do.
with the acrylic backboards.
And the, for those on here, what do you call it? The foundation, not the cement, but the boards have been placed to pour the cement, so Thank you.
We've formed the exterior, yeah.
form the exterior and it looks good. Can we repair the cracks on the existing part, or how can we update that a little bit, or is that just like it is?
You can fill them, it doesn't last long. If they're separated, we may be able to grind them.
Okay.
I don't remember a vertical separation in them. They're just cracked.
Right, Karen?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
were kind of unsightly cracks if we can patch them or do something.
We've been using an acrylic filler downtown. We tested it out last fall and it seems to have held up. So we could try that
Let's try.
on
it,
those.
'cause the new part's gonna look really nice.
Yeah. And the garbage cans, I know didn't we have 2 new garbage
We had
cans
2
that were
budgeted in our
gonna
plan.
go down there, and it's still the old one right now. Do you know what color those are?
They're black.
Just like the ones all over town?
They're all gonna be that black slats.
Okay. All right. I know we noticed a bunch of things that we wanted to mention. Did you write those down?
Do you have them right here? One was the parking lot. Did we ever have any feedback on that?
We've
from
got no
Morris?
more response from Morton.
Can we park over there on that grassy section when you kind of go past the park? Just on the grass?
That's where the parking lot was planned, but that's Morton property.
Okay.
And it's not part of the park lease. So I'm working on an alternative because it doesn't seem like we're gonna get corporate cooperation. But we own a right-of-way up the center of that park and possibly putting in a small parking lot in the interior of the park.
Okay.
So it'd use the gate that's there and then you'd have some parking internally.
That's where we were going to ask if we were going to reseed that because we saw the tire tracks and the dirt and the.
Yeah, that's from all the excavation we just did.
Okay.
Then just a couple other little things. The grills, have they been permanently set over there? They look a little they are wobbly. So, I mean, it's almost like someone could grab them out. So we might want to look at that too. The slide, I've asked you about that. We'll check on that. Yeah, the baby swing, go ahead and.
Yeah, the baby swing. The chain is funky and the swing is kind of like this.
We tried
instead
getting
of
it. We
straight.
couldn't.
We couldn't
Yes,
fix it.
when were you there?
Friday?
Yeah,
I think it was
Because
Friday.
I know the guys were just there in the last few days.
thank you.
It was, somehow somebody got it off the hook and he couldn't get it back on.
Exactly.
But they
So it was at an angle.
pinched it closed, yeah.
Okay.
Larry fixed that.
Okay. Was there anything else there?
The grill, and the grills were new, right? It looks like they almost have a little rust on them, which was, but maybe look at that and see, because
They're brand new.
they've never been used. And I
Yeah,
thought
they've been sitting on a pallet for
They shouldn't have
at least 10
rust.
years that I've been here, inside.
Okay. And the picnic table, I think we'll paint at the same time. Hopefully, are there gonna, you said some new trees there, and we're working with the
Two.
tree. Okay. Yeah, the tree commission, maybe they can get us some more too, and any donations of, Jerry Haw agreed to donate some grasses, because we'd like to cover that fence too. The good news on Morton Park, and you can add to this, Sean, is the, under the swings where we have all that, what do you call it, that
Engineered wood fiber.
engineered wood fiber. It's used. That park is being used. The swings are hollowed out. It's obviously been very used. So that's a real positive. The kids are using it, the trash can.
There's a noticeable increase in the use of that park
Yes, there is. And it's
since
apparent.
the improvements have started.
Yes, and you did a good job. It's now accessible. That has worked.
The ramp.
That little ramp, in lieu of a ramp, it seems to be working. So we get the rest of I think we need to continue on this park, though. It's not done. Let's move forward and continue to make it better.
Oh, and question, Jeff, do you need to know, like, if we want a gloss or a satin, or do you just gonna figure it out?
He needs to
Do
know.
you, he
Sure.
needs to be told?
He wants to know.
All right.
Wouldn't
We'll
you
get
have-
that.
Wouldn't it be glossy?
It depends, like if it's that big plastic, the thing that goes around the slide,
Yeah.
that, I don't think that's glossy. I think that's more of a,
So how do you want us to pick out these colors?
well, he has colored pencils down there. And we have these things, and you can just like color
it's a
in.
coloring
They
activity.
do, I know.
The colors
You can
match.
just,
Karen did a
like,
great job. The colors
We
match.
can write it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to color them in, that's what I did.
Send them back down.
Okay, moving on to the amphitheater. Karen and John are both missing, but are they available? The report's online now, I think, and I didn't double check, but I think that they're both available online if people want to look at the study. Both studies should be available online. Nothing more has been decided, right, on that, so I think take the time to look at both studies of the amphitheater, look at the feasibility of it, look at the study was very well done, and a lot of money went into it, and the demographics of the town were pretty accurate from what I could see, so I think, look at what the study said. It was a group out of Chicago, they did a great, I thought, a pretty complete, and it doesn't look like it's viable at this point, and so I think you want to look at the numbers too, not just, and just see the viability of it. So, okay, capital improvements, anything on that?
No, but maybe, I know John isn't here, but maybe Sean wants to take Kelly's place, because she was on the committee. It's a subcommittee, we met a couple times, we haven't met recently. John kind of heads it. Would you like to be involved in that?
I'll need a little bit more information about what all it entails.
Well-
I mean,
Then I'm not the person to tell you.
okay,
We'll just wait till John.
Yeah, wait till, we'll put it, John Beach.
okay. I would appreciate
Before-
that.
Yeah.
Just so I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm already knee deep.
The kickball committee, really, Karen's not here, no report on that. The plein air. are
Well,
you-
I guess we're still working on that, but the lady at the purple paintbrush haven't been able to make contact.
Okay. Budget committee, John is working on that. The budget is being worked on, right, Jeff? Or is there-
Yeah, I did update the city's Parks Capital Improvement Plan and added the items that you had prioritized and listed at your last meeting. So that is included in the draft budget that's currently in the city manager's hands and will be presented to council soon.
Did they add, or were they able to add any extra basketball, the really nice basketball hoops for First Street or Fifth Avenue, or?
Fifth Avenue, I have a grant application submitted to the foundation right now.
But the extra 4 for First Street didn't?
Well,
yet.
there's a generic item as playground equipment that's listed in the capital improvement for First Street. Those could be that improvement,
Okay.
but they're not specific to that.
Okay.
Okay. The maintenance committee, got a couple ideas. I think we'll do that under new business. Museum presentation, Karen?
Oh, okay. I guess just a reminder that May 16th is our May meeting, and we're going to do our meeting from 5:30 to 6:30, and then at 6:30, Mark Fetter is going to do another presentation, this time on the marina, and I believe the Tuesday committee, the history of the marina. And Liz and I were working to see if we can actually have the meeting down at the marina, so we can do Mark's presentation at the upper level of the marina building.
You need to record the meeting, though.
We
Which
will.
is
I've got yeah, I'm going to work with Barry Lynn and see if he would do it.
Okay.
And Kelly McCall
Okay.
has reserved it tentatively for us. So it'd be neat to have it, if we're talking about the marina, to have it at the marina. So,
Cool.
yeah, so we're working on
Right.
that.
And I just talked to him today. He's still on board. He has a projector, Liz, and a computer that hooks up to it. So we just need to provide the sound and the screen, basically.
And then we'll get it on the city webpage and we'll get it on Facebook and I
And
think
he
Kelly will.
figured Michelle would put it in the paper.
Yes.
You know, as it gets closer. And,
I think it'd be
He will-
interesting, anybody here, I think he did one on the history of parks a year ago, or 2 years ago now, maybe, and it was excellent. So this one would be good if it's on the history of the marina. He's an entertaining speaker. It's Mark Fetter from our museum. He does an excellent job.
And he just gave the parks presentation, the same one again
At
at
the
the Outsider a week or two ago. So,
He's excellent.
and he'll get us a working title so we can make flyers or whatever.
Story hours in the park, Laney?
Actually, I think Karen's kind of been spearheading that.
Well, she emailed me, Andy,
Yeah,
from the library.
they kicked it off.
Well, we bonded last summer, I guess.
Yeah, that's-
But yeah, she actually contacted me and asked if we would be interested in doing that again. And basically, it would be the same schedule, Thursdays at 11
Okay,
for
good.
her story hour. And she wants to know what dates are we available so that she can start advertising it in, I believe she said April, even though it would be more of a June, July timeframe,
Liz, you need to take that.
which is busy for, it's busy for schedules for everyone with vacations and stuff. If anybody knows their schedule and that day I can be there on June X, Y, or Z or July and want to help
Well, I definitely
story time.
willing to help at a couple, so,
Yes,
but I don't really have a
the
calendar.
dates, right?
Yeah,
So, but yeah, basically pick any Thursday in June or July
so
at 11 a.m.
we should email you those?
You could.
Okay.
That would be great. And then I can get back with her if anybody knows when they're even not going to be available. That would be helpful. And she had a great idea for doing a sandcastles building at the beach. She's got all kinds of equipment. So one would be story time like at First Street. I don't think we've done First Street.
We
yet.
haven't done First Street.
And sandcastle building for one. So
And each one had a theme last year, and that was well. I like that
we
we.
worked hard on those themes.
Yeah, we
so-
need to come up with the themes.
So if anybody has more ideas for storytime themes for the library and the park this summer, that would be very useful.
Okay.
I think that was it. Dates. We need dates.
Any other committees, anybody?
Can we, disc golf?
Oh.
Actually, I had emailed that we have Kayleen here. We have a disc golf event coming up in April.
Yes.
Would that be the time to talk about?
think it
I
would
just
be.
don't want to keep you here
No,
long.
thank you.
You want to come up, Kayleen?
Thanks.
Yeah, you have an event coming up in April.
We do, yes. So a little background, I'm not gonna use the speaker because I'm generally loud, so. I actually own Grip and Rip Disc Golf in Ludington, and yesterday was actually our 3-year marker being open, so that's really huge for us.
Yes.
But part of what our goal is we are trying to bring people back into the community instead of just like have them come once and then like not come back. So we are doing a lot of really cool things, and unfortunately, it's been really hard to implement some things in Mason County. Just it's been hard to work with everyone. So I was really excited when Tom Oley put me in touch with Tim, because he said you guys are doing great things up here too.
Tim's
And
great.
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully working with you guys. We have a event coming up in April. Oh man, I know we're doing one on the 20th and we're doing one on the 13th. So April 13th. Hope to do the event at First Street Beach, the new little disc golf course that was built there. That is an ace race. So basically what that is, it's for all ages, little ones, probably ages, I would say 10, and then all the way up to seniors. Great way to get people involved and kind of introduced to disc golf. But I've also worked with the Youth Armory on a couple of their projects. And we host youth programs in the summertime. We do kids classes. I'm actually scheduling at times to do the clinics at the Ludington Middle School. So I'm there every quarter teaching their kids. And in the fall, we were actually talking about doing a veterans event up here. Mike Zokola, he's one of the residents in Manistee. And he is working with me on kind of getting a date together, and we thought we could do like a fun kids and veterans tournament over on that course too. So kind of just generally, we're just trying to grow the sport and kind of introduce people to it. And I actually go around once a year and I ask for donations like gift cards, swag, things like that. And my goal is for all of our prizes throughout the year to use those as like gift cards and whatnot for prizes to bring people back. I partnered with a couple hotels as like preferred lodging so that we can help just kind of expand the growth and bring everyone together instead of just individualizing each thing. We host between 10 and 15 events every year, not including like the kids clinics in the summertime and lessons and different things like that. I would love to be able to work with you guys more on kind of bringing this community together on the disc golf courses up here and getting some things going in this area.
Something we've all been gearing towards, which is kind of nice. And I was telling Kayleen we'd like to co-sponsor with her, on these events, like work collectively together with her. That's the whole purpose of why we kind of put this park together. So just wanted to introduce her because I didn't know about the April event until I actually talked to her, which is surprising.
Yeah, I called City Hall and I talked to the ladies there because I had no idea that there was even like a park sport up here, to be honest with you. And then Tom Oley, who is now, he moved, but he gave Tim my number and Tim reached out and he said, yeah, we don't really have too great of communication like with, with that together, but we'd love to be part of everything. So here I am.
Tim, would you want to be on the committee with that, be in charge
Yeah,
of that?
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. And then work with Tim, and then we should get flyers, we should get something in the paper.
Perfect. I have my flyers and everything made up for the April tournament already.
Perfect.
So I will send that over for you. Tom Organ, he is also a resident here in Manistee. He actually opened his very own course over on Linky Road. I think that's how you say it. Is it Link or Link?
Link.
Okay.
Link, okay. Right behind the golf course. So he has a homestead that he built, a course there. And he actually has like technically two courses. You play it the first time through and then you can play it backwards. And we're hosting our April 20th event over on his property. But his kids have come to my clinics and he is a really great person to kind of be with too. So I'd love to kind of work with him and kind of build everything as a whole.
The April event that you have planned, is there any support that you need from us now? Or, because we're just right around the corner, obviously.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're short of, need of? Or?
Advertising I know is great because I don't really do paper ads or anything. It's just word of mouth and Facebook, social media. So advertising is always really great. Kids can be a part of this event. We have limited spots for this one just because I have to pre-order all of the discs that people will use ahead of time, so I have to kind of plan for that. But Pizza Hut of Manistee is working with us on our events up here too. They're going to be providing food, so they'll have pizza on site for everyone. And the discs are full and
Are you giving discs away or just to use?
yeah, so they actually get to keep the discs that they use. So for the ace race specifically, you get 2 discs for signing up. I think our registration fee is $35. So the discs that you're getting is actually more value than what you're paying to
For sure.
play.
That's great.
And then each person gets to throw that disc one time at each hole, so you get 2 shots. And it's a point system, so if you hit the basket, you get points. If you make it in, you get points. And if you hit chains or metal, it's a certain amount of points. And then we do multiple rounds, and we have prizes and everything for everyone.
What's the logo on the disc?
What was that?
Do you have a logo on the discs?
So we don't have logos quite yet. That's something that I really wanted to implement this year because we've had a lot of people at the shop ask for like discs with our logo on it or like our brand. And I'm actually working with Meyer of Ludington to do Meyer stamped discs. So we can customize like really any disc through our suppliers. So if there's like an event that we want to co-host together, we can get like custom discs that actually have like the Manistee like logo or sign or Parks board or anything on there.
Well, I'll work with you on that because I think that's if we're going to be doing this yearly, which I see it happening. It'd be kind of cool, just a commemorative disc, you know, that we're going to use for that. So we'll work on that together and we'll present it before the commission. And I'm not sure we got time to do it now before the April or what's
No,
the?
not for the April, but I'd love to work with you on the like potentially the youth and veterans event in the fall because I think that would be a really huge one. I want Mike to be kind of part of that conversation because it was one of his ideas. But he wants to like just raise awareness for veterans and let them know like we have options for you guys. Or, like this is what Manistee offers.
I think it's a
for
great
that.
event. I'm actually looking forward to that. That's pretty exciting. So
Yeah, so that one's gonna be a little different. It's probably gonna
gotta
be
set
like
the date yet.
$10, $15 to play that one. You can bring your own discs, and then we'll just do like a big thing, and then all the proceeds will go toward veterans awareness in Manistee County.
Great. I look forward to working with you on it.
Is Pizza Hut giving the pizza or are they selling the pizza?
So we are paying half of the slices, and then they're donating the rest. So the slices, it's basically we're paying $1, and then Pizza Hut is donating that like the other $1 like per slice. So as far as I am understanding, there won't be a fee for the players.
Well, that,
So.
free disc and free pizza. This should be a good bet.
My goal is actually, a lot of places have been raising their disc golf prices for like competing in events, and they don't give any of the players player packs per se, and that's something that we don't agree with personally, because we're players too. So if we won't play an event because of a price, then we won't like ask people to play an event because of that price. So we're keeping all of our registration fees low, but we're also giving the players more, and that's just kind of our way to say like, hey, we appreciate your support, like thank you for supporting us, here's some extra stuff.
Well, I apologize for miscommunication in the beginning because you should have been directed to us. Well, you should have been directed to us in the very beginning.
away.
You know, so this is why we built that discourse, you know, to be quite honest with you. So I think the interaction between us and really utilizing it for what our intentions are, it's the potential you got it there. So I look forward to working with you on it.
I appreciate you guys, thanks for having
Tim
me.
was instrumental in that with Tom Oley. Both of them were very
Tom
close.
has been a
Tom
huge
was
help to
great.
me. He is an
And
amazing
Tim's
human
great.
being. I'm really sad that he moved, because
Yeah, I know.
he's been a big help with us.
I'll do a good job stepping in his
Yes.
foot.
Perfect.
I look forward to working with you on it.
I appreciate you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kayleen.
Thank you. Tim.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. The South Riverwalk update. I think it's been in the paper, 850,000, correct me, Jeff, if I'm incorrect on this. 850,000, a DDA has done a match of 220, is that correct?
The 850 was the grant we received from EDA,
Yes. And then 220 from the DDA, correct?
correct.
And then Spicer has been paid, as I understand it, out of the general fund, not part of the grants.
Yeah, the city's contributing about $150,000.
So the
towards it.
city came out of the general fund to pay Spicers, and it is supposed to be starting relatively soon.
It's supposed to go out to bid pretty soon.
And they're using a permanent type wood on it, correct?
I brought some samples so you guys can see them.
Nice.
This would replace the treated one.
Is it gonna be safe when it's wet?
I actually poured water on it and tried to slide on it. It gets stickier when it's wet.
Ooh, nice.
And the life of that is
It's got a 20-year warranty.
It's on the back.
It's actually a pine material called kebony, and it's impregnated with wood alcohol, which fills the cellular voids in the cells, makes it stronger, makes it pest and rot resistant. It won't absorb water.
Are they the same? Or are they different?
No, they're both the same.
I was trying to figure out how they're different. I don't see it. They look the same. Okay, thank you.
So we looked at different synthetics and resins and even the Ipe, but that product seemed to have good longevity, cost effective. The thought was that just the color and texture of it kind of goes back to the roots of the community with the forestry industry, and so yeah, a lot of improvements coming forward.
Well, that, and I don't know how to describe it, the wall by the dog park, kind of the circular wall with the vertical boards.
So there's a number of things that the engineers are bidding as alternates, and then the base bid replaces most of the wood decking, upgrading on some of the lights, repainting railings. There's new handicap accessible ramp between the butterfly gardens at the marina. There's some rain gardens. And then there's a series of alternates that are being bid, and we'll see where the prices come in and how much can be afforded to be completed. But that it could improve some other portions of the city marina.
Any questions? The North Riverwalk grant update?
So we're still waiting for the legislature to appropriate the money towards that grant. So we're kind of just in a holding pattern until then.
Okay. And then the beach master plan, I don't know that they've met since that initial meeting that I know of.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet with the engineers yesterday, and they had to cancel that, but they're getting ready to set up the kind of the focus group sessions with all the various entities that were identified. So that process is going to really kick off here in the next month and a half, and then should be completed by the end of this year.
This is just an update of the beach master plan that was done in.
Well, I mean, the
2009.
previous one is pretty old now, and a lot of stuff has been completed and implemented. So this is really looking at First Street Beach, Fifth Avenue Beach, Man-Made Lake, and the North Beach access, and planning out what the future of those parks, what the community wants. And it can be very detailed, it could be very large, it could, what is the future plan of those parks? The last time this was done, it really guided a lot of the upgrades and additions. I thought that was a very useful tool.
Yeah.
Liz is part of that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna have one more person on it. They said it was all right. And I think it was John Veach. He's a big active in the beach. And I looked around at that very first meeting, and it was, I like to see that there was many people from in the city. I mean, I know the county uses the parks, but the beach, we pay more taxes than anybody in the county, the people that live in the city. So I was glad to see that it was pretty well represented by city people. Amphitheater, I think we covered. Streetscape, that plan is also available, is that correct, Jeff, online now?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a plan, but it's a playbook is what they call it. So it's all the possible things that the engineers put together after receiving public input. And I believe there's a committee that's working on what portions of that would be desirable to implement and what can be afforded.
And you can look at that one online. Pickleball, Sarah, do you have anything to say about the pickleball? You were kind of, talking about forming a pickleball committee. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know more.
So the Community Foundation receives so much interest in pickleball. So it is our intention to look at it from a high level, countywide. And I've talked with lots of different individuals. We've started to put together a spreadsheet and a map of all pickleball champions and sites and locations. Hoping for a mid-May kind of get together or summit, and I will promise to keep everybody informed. It's just a balance of trying to get all the enthusiasm together with our timing, so of our other work. So you can look.
Could we have someone on that?
John.
John would love to be on
Yeah,
it.
John
He's
Beach
the-
already contacted me.
Okay.
Will absolutely be.
Yes, if John could be on it, he is a big pickleball
Yep,
player.
and I think the intention is just to kind of look at, since there is so much interest, to look at where it makes sense, to try to understand, you know, and balance the desire between those that are interested in the 8-court competitive tournament facility versus a neighborhood facility versus county, city, and kind of take a look at that from a high level. So I am no expert. I do not know pickleball at all, but I will work as best I can to provide information and data so that those of you that are trying to figure out where courts make sense so that you can have it.
Thank you, Sarah.
And the city manager and I have met with Sarah a couple times, expressing the city's interest to participate in that. We put together, 14 different possible sites within the community that it could be an option. And then I've also penciled in our capital improvement plan, some matching money in future years to help support it if a project comes forward.
Okay. Thank you, because that was one of our, on our list of capital goals for the parks. New business, playing fields. I still need to get together with Eric Thummel and just make sure that looking down the road, we have enough playing fields. And my goal is to have, especially with what's being done at the softball fields, that each playing field is used for what it was designed for. We're playing soccer on soccer fields, we're playing softball on softball fields, and we're playing, you know, pickleball on pickleball courts. We have tennis courts. Let's just keep it so there should be enough courts and enough people interested in that we can just keep what the courts are designed for, keep it to that sport alone. We've got a big enough town. The softball diamonds, does someone want to give an update on that, please?
Please excuse my earlier reticence to come up and talk. I thought you were looking for some kind of a presentation or proposal.
This is pretty casual.
Like
It's the parks.
My name's Dan Gilligan, and I am fairly new to Manistee Senior Softball, just having the pleasure of joining them last spring. And myself and Brian Dunlop are the ones involved. You've been communicating with Brian along for a while now, I guess, and working in communication and coordination to get the renovation done for the softball fields. Yeah. So I'm attending the meeting today just to familiarize myself with this commission and give you a chance to familiarize with me. Any details? Oh, I did get to talk with Dan Camerod, contractor who's going to be doing the work on there last week. And my initial outreach to him was quite responsive and easy to get hold of. Since then, I've had less success trying to get back to him this week. So I think you're probably...
So that's a contractor that we are under contract to renovate the Diamond Dust and augment it with the new material, and then repair the bases, repair the lip that's between the infield and the outfield. He's supposed to be here anytime now. He was waiting for frost laws to come off, and he had promised us we'd be his first project, so hopefully that's coming soon. We were able to get the electrical moved that was in conflict with the shade structure columns, so we were planning on when we pour the basketball court at Morton, we'll pour in those posts and get those set. And then probably in May, we'll get the awnings up on those. We We just did some sanding and renovation to some of the bleachers, the wood bleachers. And I'm looking to see what we can do to the ones that are right on the corner there. The steel just looks terrible. And so we've started some discussions on how we can improve that as well.
Is that at Duffy, those bleachers, or which?
No.
We did them at Duffy as well. We did Duffy and some of the ones in the outfield.
Oh, okay, both. Got it.
We talked a long time ago about sponsors for the softball field, putting banners on the fence. You see those a lot in some communities.
Yeah, that's been discussed within our council of elders as well.
Yeah.
Something we want
Are you guys still considering that, or?
Now, Brian has made contact with people at Myers and brought up the idea of talking with someone at the casino as well, and see how interested they are in lending support in consideration of publicity that they would gain.
Yeah, have you got, I mean, do you have any price ranges? I mean, is it just in the preliminary stages? I know we talked about at least 2 years ago as far as doing that, because it's quite a fundraiser for most softball fields. You know, when you get those sponsors that do that and then recognize them with the banners and they're on there every year, beautiful spot, you know, to be honest with you, so.
Do you remember what Brian was saying as far as figures in his talks with Meyer?
Well, Meyer and also the casino are unlikely to contribute to us because we're not a 503.
Yeah.
Yeah.
501c3.
Could do it through the
So
city.
it really won't, I mean, I talked to the casino a few years ago and I got feedback from them, so.
So I will mention that the senior softball pledged $4,000 of cash donation towards the work that's being done at that field. And so I think when they reached out to Meyer in the casino, it was to augment that donation, because the price that we received 2 years ago from this contractor, and then he went quiet for a year and didn't respond at all. And now that price went up $4,000. So they were trying to do some additional fundraising to assist with what they raised internally, and to help offset some of those overages. But I'm,
A gal on the Parks Commission, Karen Peltola, who worked for the City of Detroit Park System. She's an avid softball player, and she was one that also had that idea. She would know the pricing system, and she's already, I think, I'm not gonna volunteer because she's not here, but,
That's a good time to volunteer.
it's a good time to get in. Okay, Karen is in charge. But Karen would be willing to work, and she has already implemented that and knows a lot about it. She's excellent to work with, she's fun.
Does she work with us?
Yeah, I mean, we'd work together, you know, and just see, I mean, and I don't know, you know, like where would the money go and all this, but it's probably a maintenance type thing. I mean, that, we let that go pretty far before, if we could just have more routine maintenance on it, it would probably take the money from that. And, you know, there's little things like how long is that sign? It's not forever that we're gonna, I mean, what do you get for when you pay for that sign?
Yearly sponsors.
Yeah, what we really like is a scoreboard. And it doesn't have to be, and you probably know more about this, Jeff, but it could be a universal scoreboard that can keep score for kickball, Little League football, softball. It doesn't have to have, I mean, I don't know if they have scoreboards that do it all. But if we could get someone to even donate that, that would benefit the whole city, because, you know, we have a lot of different venues that use the field, kickball. So, you know, if we were gonna go for a major donation, we'd really like to get something like that, then they could actually put their name on it.
Let's work together on this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I really need to get clear on whose approval I should seek as well before making a deal with Meyer or Casino to.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna, it's a park, so we would like to be involved in it. We're an advisory, we're not a decision-making, but we do recommend it to the city council.
That's why we're here.
I would like it if the parks were involved in it,
Should be.
right? They should be. So I'd
Thank you.
like the first stop here, and then we can help go to city council and take your idea and, you know, push it forward.
Karen, see what her interest is in getting one of our commission members to assist you guys making a presentation. Not a lot about sponsoring, getting money, but
We actually, even though we're not a 503, we actually have a board, we call them the Board of Elders, because we're all old. But we actually have a board that meets regularly and does a lot of this planning things, so, you know, we're more than just a Sandlot team.
Right.
You know, we really try to plan all this, so she would be willing to meet with us.
Yes, we would like to have someone, and that would be a good liaison.
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you. We'd
Exactly.
like to be.
I'll jot down my contact information if you want to get it into Karen's hands or
Yes.
somebody else that wants to
Yes.
make
Karen,
that connection.
Kim.
Yeah,
Ben.
I'm
you should have-
I'm
I was gonna
interested.
say,
in
now
that.
that we're,
Yeah, I'll help Karen with this.
Is she retired?
yes.
Yes, but retire is a different word. She's retired, but probably busier now than she was when she was working. But yeah, between Karen and I, we'll be more than happy to sit with you guys and come up with the ideas and get it done. So I like the scoreboard idea, to be quite honest with you. So, and how can Meyer not want a name on the scoreboard?
Right.
That entices, you know, to be quite honest with you. So, but we got to come up with the project price and design and present it. And I mean, sooner we get working on it, the better. So,
And you're thinking more electronic. I mean, I've seen some cities and gone to some softball games where they had, you know, the kid holding them, and that was kind of cool because it's so retro. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The kid put
They
the,
do it in Boston still, don't they?
yeah, I love that, but, you know, that worked, so I don't know.
We come up with something. Look forward to working with you guys.
Yeah, work together. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks for
Oh,
your
and then
efforts.
the defibrillator, you're gonna add down right at, tell us a little bit about.
The plan is kind of, I've had the defibrillator
He bought it.
delivered to me.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Dunlop and myself that funded that. And then we'll meet with the fire chief.
Fire chief tomorrow.
And talk about making it accessible to first responders or people that might be on site who could get to a victim even before
Yeah.
first responders arrive. But we'll
And
plan
we're over
for
to your
that.
all's thoughts as far as where would be a good location for that in the area where we are.
Do you have a case for it, or okay, like a case that the defibrillator goes in? Do you know what brand it is by chance?
Let's start with, let's see.
Okay.
Apparently it can be kept outside, the battery lasts for almost a year, and then we think that the fire department will maintain it.
Something like lifestyle.
Yeah. The only reason I ask, I'm a distributor of defibrillators, so I'll help you guys maintain it for free.
That's Tim's business.
Yeah, that's my business. And but also we'll do a training for free.
Training in that location is so used by so many different.
Yeah, so we'll get together, we'll just do a CPR AED training, kind of get everybody through the motions, understand how it works, how it gets used, but I'm a retired firefighter, so that's basically my business, so be more than happy to help you guys.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll get you my contact info. You want me to write that? I'll write it down for you.
And Tim, open that up maybe to a few more people. If it's, you
Yeah.
know, that would be good to just open to the public.
Yeah,
I think-
we were gonna have a training at one of our first practices when all the players are there, so that'd be awesome if you could come there and train people.
I mean, it's in a spot that's highly visible and used by many people. It'd be neat even if you opened it up to the public a little bit to have.
Yeah, we actually donated the defibrillators to the beach houses,
Okay, I knew they were out there.
to each one of those. We donated those. So, did you pay for yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of curious, if you can take a picture of it on your phone and send it to me, it'd be helpful just for me to know what you bought.
You can also send it back, Dan.
Yeah, I'll return that.
Is it new?
Yeah.
Like brand new?
Actually, he doesn't have everything. Everything hasn't been delivered yet, has it?
A couple of things were back ordered, the education practice pack
Oh,
and child size patches.
yeah, those are on, that sounds like it's a Philips defibrillator. Is it red?
Yeah, Phillips. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Philips distributor. So, yeah, don't tell me what you paid. But I'll help you. I mean,
Okay.
that's more of a ministry.
Moving on.
I basically at my cost, you know, if that. And I donate 100 towards those costs. So, but Yeah, I'll help you out. So, we'll talk. We'll connect. You're welcome, yeah.
And would you be the point of contact when we decide to arrange the softball game as well?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
yeah, between Karen and I, we'll sit on the softball committee. Did we just form one?
I guess we did.
So,
Softball committee.
yeah. I just want to make sure you guys didn't get ripped off.
Okay. And the next order of business, still under new business. We used to do this, and I would kind of like to get back to it. It just went away when we had to, each of us took a park or two.
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of a month, we visited it and filled out a
Reported back.
full report looking at, first of all, any improvements that need to be made, the general usage of it, is it clean, is it well maintained? Just a walkthrough of every park, and I think we should get back to that. And there's like 14 parks. If we each took one or two, if we took two, it
I'll
would be,
take Fifth Avenue.
okay.
Can I take Lighthouse Park at least?
Woo! There we go.
My kids will help me.
I'll do Duffy too. It's right around the corner.
And what's next to Lighthouse? Rotary? Your Lighthouse and Rotary.
Do Rotary, and then you guys come to us, you do the baseball diamonds. If you see anything or want anything, you could be on this. Just refer back to Tim, we're kind of, we want someone to keep your eye on that, and little things, do they need another trash can, are the trash cans filled? Whatever else you see that needs to be done. Lainey, do you have a choice of parks?
Well, I guess Reed's Park,
Okay, thank
Ninth
you.
Street Boat Launch, of course. And I don't know, Sean might want to do Morton.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, so I won't say Morton. I don't know. I could do another one, but
What's left? I can do Lions Pavilion.
There's also, are we doing the beach as well? All the
I can do
equipment?
Lions Pavilion and the beach at First Street. I'll do First Street Beach.
Then there's also the old Rocket Park and the disc.
Yeah,
Do we have to do disc golf too?
Rocket
So-
Park with a disc golf? I can do that.
okay.
Okay.
Rocket and the disc golf.
Well, you just broke First Street into 15 parks.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
You got a long ways to go.
It's a big area.
We did. And then I can do, I'll do Park. And we should have, someone should look at Sands, and you guys can,
What about Red Schmear Park?
yeah, Red Shamark Park,
Oh, dang, that's right down the
You want
street
that,
from me.
Tim?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Arthur Street, North Beach Access, Duffy,
I'll do North.
I got Duffy.
Man-made.
We got Duffy. North,
Wow, that's a lot of area.
there's a lot, that's why,
I could take Mac Park if you wanted to take.
okay, thank you.
Non-motorized.
There's really not much there.
And we have two people that aren't here, so I will email this out to you and then look to see what's missing and assign, we have to have someone on the marina, okay, we'll sign them, the ones that were gone.
Good idea. Good
I'll
idea.
send you guys a copy too, both of you. Okay, old business, summer events, movies, kickball. I'll just mention them if someone wants to speak up. Stargazing. We probably don't have anything concrete yet.
Look forward to getting you guys.
I mentioned last time Brooke has moved out of state and she won't be able to do stargazing
Yeah,
anymore. So.
and I haven't had a chance to go see. We did have that man up in Pierport that came to our event. I'll go visit. I don't remember didn't get his name, but I know right where he lives. So. Memorials. Need someone to chair or start that committee of what some ideas for memorials are, have it a little concrete. I mean, we did well on the chairs, we could still get some more chairs. We did, probably could, we have plenty of benches, some other ideas.
Are we planning on doing any more Adirondack chairs or are we at the limit?
Yeah, if we get requests.
For First Street, or
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna branch out to,
It hasn't been discussed beyond First Street.
Would anybody want to do that committee? It'd be nice to have more input.
would it be possible that, like, I'm thinking all the fire pits, like at Fifth Avenue, could we have Adirondack chairs, like, around the fire pits on the beach? Or is that not doable? You have to anchor them, right?
You have to anchor them, but then it prevents us from cleaning the beach around the fire pits, and that's one of the messiest areas.
Is it, okay.
Well, think if anybody would choose to be on. The Lions Pavilion, the money in the account is $8,585.
That's dedicated to that, or that's just what they've raised
That's the revenue from the rental
since the
And the-
beginning?
since the beginning.
But I think I think it's actually isn't it the remainder in the account, because there has been very few
Yeah, there were a couple
expenses.
purchases.
Yeah, just two purchases, the case and those flower pots or whatever, but they were more than pots, they were beautiful, and we gotta fill those again this year, and I think maybe Kieran will do that. They did a great job, those flowers lasted through November.
So what's the policy then with the money that's in there? We can submit projects and we know that the money's
The
in there to be used, or?
I think that I thought that's how it was, I mean, we can go.
I thought we were trying to get clarification on it, but we never
We've never got a commitment, but I think if we had a
The
project.
intent is to use the revenues from the rental to reinvest back into those facilities. It's not a formal thing that has been adopted by council, but Ed the finance director's been keeping track of it. And so if there's other improvements to that area, it can be reinvested back in.
Do you know if so that money's there, it's earmarked for that? Or is I know it's a general fund, right? The money's put in the general fund. So would the line item show that money's still there for us to use?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's been escrowed, but that's what the city manager and the finance director are working on, is to keep it set aside for Lions area improvements.
The thing is, the things that I think that need to be done, one is painting those cabanas, like the underneath part. And I think paint it before, I mean, it needs it, but
Well, that's what the money's there for, maintain
Yeah.
it, make it always look good, like.
I think those underneath parts, they're just white paint. The ceilings and the post needs to be clean, but they actually have like a Trex type material on them. But I would like to see those painted this summer, and we could do the flowers.
Is that something we do, Jeff, or is that your group that, not to tread, into your territory, but like if they want to do projects and stuff like that?
Or could we hire that done with some of that money if your group doesn't want to do that? That was, I
Well,
think, what I
don't
meant.
say I don't,
That
they
doesn't
don't want
that wasn't how I
to, if we
meant.
don't have the capacity
It's a-
to do
you don't have
it.
the Capacity, and this summer.
Yeah, it could be
with the
contracted.
Grants might be,
So, like, to me, in a perfect example, and I didn't even think about this money, actually, Kelly Greavy had brought this up to my attention a couple years ago, that the black bollards, the lights that are along the walkway, the paint's chipping off and stuff. So, Monday, we're having the electricians disconnect all of those. We're gonna load them up. We're taking them to a painter, gonna have them sandblasted, repowder coated. I think I can get all 15 of them done for about $1,600. To me, that type of thing would be a perfect expenditure here, even though I plan on just doing it out of our maintenance budget. But other type of improvements,
That would help you though, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, if we
yeah.
working together?
Well, yeah, because honestly, if that, like, if I don't have to pull it out of the maintenance budget, I use it in some other park,
Right.
To
me, is we need to start using it.
Yeah.
That's what the whole purpose of it is. I mean,
Well,
that's
if
what we
people are
started.
paying, we need to keep that maintained. I mean, they're
Right.
having weddings, they're having events down there, and now they're paying for them. So I would say, let's make it like those little cabanas.
The other thing that you guys have discussed in the past, just as a reminder, was there's a desire to put restrooms there, and that's a $250,000
That's what I was
project.
just gonna say.
So likely, we would have to do that with some grant money. We would have to do that with some local capital improvement money, but this money could also match that as well.
I was kind of, go ahead, Lainey.
I guess I would like to say we should set a goal of maybe putting aside 3,000 a year or 1/3 of whatever revenue we get to save it for a match and spend part of it, not all of it. The other question I had was, have you made any progress as far as researching software for reservations?
So that was, I think that was brought up
Yeah, not too
Last
at our
much.
last meeting, and it might have been Sarah that brought it up. I did talk to the MRA because she thought the MRA and the school were using the same software.
Yeah.
So I did talk to Eric about it. It turns out that Eric used to use the software for the school to program the pool. And the school reached out to the MRA to ask the MRA if they would take on programming the pool for the school and share the software. Then that didn't happen. So I told Eric that that there's desire from our community to do online reservations, and I know that he's got desire to do programming of the fields and so forth.
Yes.
So we discussed working together in the future on that.
So, we probably need to make some kind of resolution as far as reserving funds to do a potential match for grants and capital improvements. But I don't know if we have to do it tonight or not. Just think about it.
Well, I think we make a resolution to help pay for the lamppost, what Jeff just suggested. I mean,
I think he's got it covered, so.
I would like to see those cabanas painted.
Yeah, let's
That's
work-
been 3 years that we
Yeah.
talked about that.
So if we do that project, and then going forward, try to set aside like half or 1/3 of whatever rental we get.
But it would have to be, can we carry over money? And it's not us, it'd be the city council. Do they carry it over, or would it just go into the general fund and not be available
I think
there?
that's the one thing we've
That's-
never been able to
We've
clarify.
never clarified that, and a lot of governmental money, you either use it or lose it. So I don't know if I have faith that in 20 years we would have 60,000 there. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, that might be something we should take to city council.
Yes. And then you'd have to see it on the general.
So if we're
Makes
gonna
sense.
paint the cabanas, we go just talk to a contractor and see what the cost would be? What's your suggestion on that?
Yeah.
We've got a unique opportunity, unique situation, I would say. Our facilities management department is one person, one employed person. This current budget year, there was money budgeted to get a part-time position to assist. That money was expended, but the gentleman that is doing that work is extremely talented and doing one heck of a job. So what he is doing now is he is working on city projects and then billing to the department for his labor. So I was going to give an update on the Rotary Pavilion down at First Street on the South Loop. They're going to re-roof that. They're going to fix all the wood on that. They're going to replace the rotted sections, and we're gonna do that. City's going to buy the materials. We're going to pay for his labor to do that, and then my staff's going to stain it this spring. So, to me, that's a very good, equitable way of getting it done. And I would reach out and find out if he could do that on this as well, because I think that would be a way of getting it done quickly and efficiently.
Earlier in the season, the
Yep,
better.
and using those monies for that.
Also, those picnic tables need painting down there again. It's,
The
they're-
outdoor ones.
It's been 2 years.
I know.
look at them, they just do. I mean,
I-
they don't last.
I-
Picnic tables are outside.
I know, that's the frustrating thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the benches that we just did, that Tim bought, 2-3 years ago, had to be all restained and
But you-
sanded.
They take a beating and they're
Yeah.
outside, so you just gotta do it, I guess. And I don't know if you'd wanna do that too, or do you wanna see if we could get a volunteer group to do that?
That's better, I think that's better off when we bring those in the winter and do those repairs. God forbid it's going to snow tomorrow. I mean, we could bring some more in, because we did a bunch of them this year again, but.
Yeah, if we could, do you think, yeah, check on those ones on First Street. They're looking rough, and that is our probably most visible park.
As of a year ago today, we had every single picnic table sanded, restained, and repaired.
It's like your house, it doesn't last.
So that's like 5 priorities with the money from the Lions
Cool,
Pavilion.
that's good.
Between online reservations, cabana painting, flowers for the flower boxes, a grant match, savings for restrooms, and painting the ball.
Yeah, my suggestion is do the things that need to be done and don't look for ways to spend money, because that money it's very appropriate for it to build and do bigger things and contribute to bigger projects. But,
We haven't.
do the
I don't
projects
think-
that
I think
are
we've done
necessary.
Pretty good, and we haven't spent. I mean, we spent 1,000, we spent on those flowers, I think the flower containers were $665, and the little, what do you want to call it, the showcase down there was $165. So we have spent no money, but I think it's time that, I think some of those things, it's not about spending money, I think that they need to be improved upon.
Well, like you said, we're charging people to rent it.
Yeah.
They expect it to be at a certain level. And I think we need to get it to that level. It's not right now.
And then we've got to also update that little display case down there. It's
Sure.
got some stuff from 23 in there, it's just, whatever, we should
It's
put.
locked though,
Yeah, who has a key to that?
Mickey,
Katie?
we have it.
You have a Katie somewhere?
Yeah, they changed it every week when the rentals were updated.
Yeah.
Well, we probably should change it now, or at least something.
It's got
for-
stuff from September, August.
Yeah, it's time to put something for 24, welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, anything we have not covered or that you want to share?
I have a lot. I'll try to do it real quick, okay?
Thank you.
At the city marina, there's 3 landscape beds that we have contracted to upgrade. They're at the west end, so we're hoping that they can get to those real soon. The U.S. Coast Guard is actually increasing their coverage area from this station. They're adding a second large boat and are going to put it at the marina. So they have offered to do some painting down there and sprucing up the area. And we've accepted that. So things will be happening there pretty quickly. Continuing at First Street, we did some painting and some floor work in the fish cleaning station bathrooms. We did also in the First Street pavilions. I talked about the Rotary Pavilion already, so I would expect that'll probably take a couple weeks before we get the materials and we can start work on that. I mentioned the bollards. When we put the decorative lights, when we repaved the beach loop, we put decorative lights south of First Street along the parking lot, and then they were duplicated with the overhead cobras from Consumers Energy. So we just had Consumers remove those. That happened last week. Still working with the Chamber Leadership Group on their dog park improvements. And then we have started power washing some of the structural steel at the pavilion. It just had mold and mildew and stuff on it, so trying to get that area cleaned up. At Sands Park, the city's working with Manistee Public Schools to remove the tennis courts and then add sidewalk along Robinson Street. And then they recommended approval for a tree removal within the park. The school wants to create a barrier-free walkway from the school itself to the playground into the park. At Mack Park, we removed the tree that was dead in the center, and we're getting opening bids tomorrow on the trees, on the tree planting. So we'll put a tree back there, and then we'll also add the 2 at Morton. Reeds Park restrooms got re-roofed, and we used the same facilities guy for that. Arthur Street, the guys repainted the entire restrooms, including the floors. Did a fantastic job on that. And we've been trying to do painting where we can do, there's no heat in those buildings, but with the mild temperatures, we've had the electricians wire in special outlets so that we can keep them warm and heated. And so we're trying to get some of that work done before we open them up in May. Duffy Park, I've put in paving that gravel portion of that park into the capital improvement plan in future years. Man-made, council approved, this is for Laney. Council approved the match money and an application for a natural resource trust fund grant. And we got the property owner to come down on his price. So we think we're going to get there.
That was a good.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I'm so glad I nagged you.
That was good.
At Fifth Avenue, construction work on the wall and the parking lot repaving should begin in about 2 weeks, around the first week of April. I've actually got a pre-construction meeting for that tomorrow.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Before I go on? I watched a city council meeting since our last meeting, and Lucas Richardson was answering questions about the wall. And someone asked about the height of the wall, and he said it's going to be similar to the one at First Street, and you would be able to see over it sitting in your car. But the one at First Street, I know people have complained that it's too tall.
Yeah, this one's a little bit shorter.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a foot of block.
And
Because it would seem to.
It is shorter.
24 inches or 36 inches. That 12 inches is someone like myself sitting in a low car, not seeing the sunset.
I don't remember the exact dimension, but it's lower. I made sure of that.
Okay.
Because there was a difference. I saw the same city council meeting.
Yeah, and it
that
seemed
It was like different than
not
what we
consistent.
thought it was
Yeah.
going to be. And I thought that will get some complaints, and it's better to address it before.
We, if you remember the solid surface countertops in the bathrooms at Fifth Avenue were bleached and blotted. We replaced those completely. And then we plan on doing a bunch of paint in the general areas. And I'm getting the electricians to come up with a light fixture in that facility that is bug proof, because we clean them out and a month later there's 10 million dead bugs in them. It looks terrible. So we're trying to get a jump on all these things with the nicer weather. What else? And then the North Riverwalk, we mentioned the grant, but we also did some temporary welding on some of the benches, and I'm trying to work with the veterans group because they're going to need to be replaced. They're just so brittle and twisted from age. And then we did have money budgeted to seal coat that parking lot, and we want to adjust some of the handicap spaces in that lot. But I've deferred that until we do the upgrade on the Riverwalk itself, and we can kind of coordinate that all together. I think that's it.
Woo! You did that really well.
Thank you.
Anything else? Tim?
I just want to add, nice job on the Fifth Avenue beach benches. It's beautiful. They look like they're brand new. So nice job. I know a lot of work goes into that. So you guys did an awesome job. So.
I asked them to take pictures of the plaques before they remove them next time.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, that was pretty, but thanks for responding to that. But
Yeah.
they seriously, they look like they just came out of the showroom. They look beautiful. So thank you. Very appreciate that. So.
I don't have anything
At the
to
end, and we just have a chance if we miss something that you could do whatever you want. Good or bad.
No, I'm just looking forward to learning a lot more. This is my first meeting of really being a part of this, so I came to another meeting a long time ago, and so I'm just looking forward to, getting deeper and learning some stuff and talking to people about capital improvements and things like that. So, thank you.
I don't think I mentioned it to Jeff, and a lot of these are huge projects, but those signs at First Street Beach had been in the middle of that metal, the middle of the metal pipe for years, and it's just a little detail and it got done. And they look like a world of difference. And I thought all these little details, we have these big projects, but those little ones make such a difference. So we got those done, you got them done. Thank you. Karen?
Oh, just because I'm thinking soccer season is starting up at Duffy really soon. Did you say the bleachers along the soccer fields, were those repainted?
Yes. Well, we didn't repaint them. They sanded them down, power washed them, and then they stained them because they got it down to the natural grain of the wood.
Okay.
And we thought the paint just peels. It peels and peels. That wood just retains moisture, and they peel after 2 years. So they tried some natural stain on them, and we're hoping that people like them, and it'll be a little bit more longevity to them.
All right, that's my only question. Thank you.
So I attended the Sands Park, whatever.
Control board?
Control board meeting. Jeff, the tree MAPS is removing. They're planting more trees to replace it. So in case you were wondering, he didn't add that part, but to me that was important. And then the young man who was doing the
Oh,
sandbox.
I forgot. Thank you.
Yeah, for Boy Scouts. He took in the plan, and he's got council approval, and it looks like he has a good design. It sounds like Jeff's department's gonna provide the materials, he's gonna do it at his home. It's cat-proof, sounds like a good thing, I don't know what you need to add.
Yeah, it's a sandbox, but the cover folds up and it makes benches to sit on. And then it's easy to rotate and cover it up. And because I made them the comment when I had a sandbox as it was a kid, it was a litter box for all the neighborhood cats. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I forgot.
So that
Thanks for attending.
that was it.
And he had planned to come back and update you on that, but they left on vacation last night. So,
Okay, and that would be, is he putting that one at Sands Park?
yes.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
would be great at Morton's Park. Those kids.
Well, if it's a good design, it might be a
It's a
good
good
project
design, that's
for,
a pretty
Jeff's
cheap,
team in the winter.
Yeah.
it's a pretty cheap addition to a park. It's like tetherball, that I think it'd be used, plus it would provide something for an age group that might not have as much to do in a park.
Yeah, and if you remember, we budgeted volunteer funds to support volunteer projects. So we'll use those funds to purchase the materials for them.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, that's good. Anything else? Anybody make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.